Join UF Hall of Famer and 14-year NFL vet Shane Matthews every weekday as he brings you all you need to know about your Florida Gators, including news, analysis, and opinions with some of the biggest names in sports. Find us on Spotify, Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, or wherever you listen to your favorite podcast. Or watch us live at 8 a.m. on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter.
Good morning. It's a live edition, a Thursday edition of PodUp with Matthews in the Morning, coming to you from the International Diamond Center Studios, locations across the state of Florida, right there at Celebration Point in the heart of Gator Nation. Don't forget, Mother's Day is Sunday. Swing on by International Diamond Center and pick old mom something out. Lady Gator softball plays today against Auburn. I think it's at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time in the SEC tournament. They win that, they will play the winner of Alabama and Arkansas. Today's program will have Brent Beaird, a college football analyst and Heisman Trophy voter, and then Win with JC takes over the second portion of the program. Let's go straight to the Titan Our hotline. It's our man Brent Beaird. Good morning, Brent. How you doing?
Shane, I'm doing good. Boy, there's a lot of things going on, even though we're in the merry month of May. SEC meetings in Destin will be here before we turn around too. And Shane, I've got to say I know people are looking forward to this, but the preseason magazines are coming out this month, and they will be out. I've had it in my calendar that it's kind of an average of May the 23rd, something like that. And we do have sporting news back. So we will have sporting news and Athlon and Lindy's and Phil Steele. Shane, if you can believe this, Phil Steele's magazine this year is like 350 something pages.
That's crazy.
It's huge, but a whole lot more going on in the month of May than we would realize.
Yeah, Clan on YouTube, brought to you by Quality Plumbing, says, when's the SEC Media Days? Isn't that in like mid-July in Tampa?
It is, yeah, and people need to realize it is in Tampa this year, so that's going to be really helpful for the guys in the state. It's not going to be so helpful for some of the others, but yes, that would be interesting to see how it goes in Tampa.
What's crazy is I don't know what made me think of this morning, Brent. After I woke up, I was like, we're about 4 months away for football season kicking off.
Yeah.
Gone by fast. All right, let's crank it up. You mentioned there's been a recent coaches meeting talking about expansion of the playoffs.
Yes, this actually looks like it's going to happen. There are 3 or 4 components of this that are worth discussing. 24 teams, believe it or not, is what they're looking at. Ending the season by the second week of January, and discontinuing conference championship games. There's a lot of meat on the bone here. So we would make a major leap from going from 12, which we'll have this year, to 24. There's still a lot of people think we ought to go to 16 before we go to 24. But that's what the coaches in their meeting have voted to do, doing away with the conference championship games. Now, the SEC championship game, I've seen numbers that it brings in between $80 and $100 million per game. I mean, Shane, that's unbelievable, is it not? And then instead of ending the season close to February, as we're going to do the rest of this decade, of ending the season in 2 weeks in January and doing that. I know that's a lot to talk about, but that's what they're proposing right now.
So Cal says on YouTube, brought to you by Quality Plumbing, CFP and the NCAA tournament expansion is awful. Don't understand the counter argument. Well, you'll still watch it.
Yeah.
If the Super Bowl moved in 2-minute quarters, we'd still watch that too, even though it's done.
Yeah.
So here's my thoughts on it. I have no
Okay.
problem with expansion because the ratings tell you people are going to watch it.
Sure.
I've always been in favor of the 2014 playoff in football because the FCS has had a lot of success over the years. They've been doing it for 15, 20 years. I just don't know how to implement. I still think the championship games are very, very important. One reason,
Hmm.
a lot of money. Um,
Yes.
I know they're probably going to have to get rid of those, but I have no problem with the expansion. I know people are going to say there's going to be some blowouts here and there. You see blowouts in the NFL playoffs. It
Sure.
happens.
Sure.
But here's what will be beneficial for the college programs. When a coach is on the recruiting trail, he says, "We made the playoffs last year.
Yeah.
24 teams are going to
Yes.
make it, so that will help." Uh, but anyway, the other issue though, Brent, is the Army Navy game.
Yes.
What are they going to do about that?
Well, that's the big discussion here too. Is the thing they've thought about is could they have the Army Navy game either just that basically be the game of the day, or to have a like a 4 hour window to where there would be no games played during the time when Army Navy is playing. Now, I know President Trump and his committee is all for the Army Navy game having its own window, meaning there will be no other games played when it's being played. That has not been discussed yet. But again, what they're trying to do, and I know we've talked about this, and I can appreciate this. Now, what this would mean would be that the season would start a week earlier than it normally does, which means the season would start in August. And frankly, and Shane, you can talk about this, are the players ready to play then, is the big question here. But the other question is, see, where we are now is the national championship game for the rest of this decade is actually going to be fairly close to February. So, and now some folks would like this to end the season on January 1. That's just not going to happen. The calendar is not going to allow that.
Mm-hmm.
But the end of season 2 weeks into January, that's where we are. So Shane, that's what they're proposing as far as the calendar is concerned, and they're trying to get the calendar to work a lot better than it does now.
Well, they have too many bye weeks. I think you go to 24, nobody gets a bye. Nobody gets a bye in FCS. Just play right away. Um, there was a comment on here I wanted to get to. Barone says no bye weeks. He said the difference in every team in the NFL is a professional team. That's true. He says having a group of 5 jabronis take up a spot in the playoffs is leaving out better teams. Yes, but you got to look at it from their standpoint. I always look at it from the underdog, so to speak, because those kids that played at James Madison or wherever it may be that make the playoffs, they wanted to play at Alabama. They wanted to be an
Yeah.
Ohio State Buckeye. They were maybe their hand size wasn't big enough, or they were an inch too short.
Mm-hmm.
Give
Sure.
them the opportunity. If they get their ass blown out, they get their ass blown out. But I have no problem with it. I think the average fan wants to see a competitive game every time it's played. You watch the NBA playoffs, it's blowout city pretty much every game,
Yeah.
one way or the other.
Really.
So
Mm-hmm.
there's never going to be the perfect way to do this. The perfect way, if I had a choice, would be 24 teams and play the championship games. I don't think that's possible, but
Yeah. Agree.
we'll see what happens. It's going to be interesting. There'll be a lot of money to be made.
Now here's the thing we need to realize too. This is coming from the coaches, and the coaches want more security, and I get that. And the thing they could say is, look, we made the 2014 playoff this year. and that's important, even though we got beat by 50 in the first round. So you've got some of that, that's going on too. Now, again, this is not in stone. It hasn't happened yet, but it is coming from the coaches, and it should mean something that is coming from the coaches. But the next meeting of the commissioners, who are going to be the ones to make the final decision, is coming in June. So it's still going to be a little while before that happens. And Shane, I don't know if this surprised you or didn't surprise you that the coaches really were, I wouldn't say they were in lockstep, but they by far favored this, which I don't think we would have seen years ago, but we do see this now.
Yeah. And you mentioned, would teams be ready to play in August? Absolutely would be. You only need 4 weeks, 4 to 5 weeks to get ready to play football. I mean, they're training all year long, their bodies. And the season being long, I don't think is an issue. It's just the time off between games once you get into postseason is a problem. If they would just play the regular season, then start the playoffs, it's fine. And I don't want to hear anybody talk about academic calendar either. Nobody gives a damn about academics anymore.
No,
let's be honest.
no.
But baseball, basketball, track, these other sports they go through multiple semesters. So that is not even an issue. Brian on Facebook Live, brought to you by Mel Law, says, Brent, are they discussing changing the recruiting calendar at all? I seem to recall there was some problems with the current recruiting calendar.
Yeah, that's being talked about too. And now, one of the things they did, obviously, with the recruiting calendar in mind, is they went from 2 portal periods to only 1, and they're sticking with that for now because we had the portal period. Remember, Shane, in April. We had one in January, and then we had another one in April. Well, that's done away with, so we've only got 1 of those now. So, now look, I know all this stuff sounds insane, but he brings up a really good point that one of the major accomplishments they want to do with this is they want to make the calendar make better sense than it's making now. So that's one of the real goals for getting this done. I know the money goal is there. Obviously, we all understand that. But there's got to be some common sense in this, and that's what they're trying to get back to.
Rose Ogre State Farm offers a team of dedicated insurance professionals ready to help life go right with the right insurance options for you and your family. Visitogreinsurance.com. Give them a call at 352-240-1779. Brent, we got our post-spring practice top 25.
That's right.
Run it down for us.
Yeah, this is a USA Today spring football poll. Ohio State 1, Notre Dame 2, a couple of SEC teams. Georgia is 4, Texas is 3, Indiana is 5. They're still going to have a really good team. Miami is number 6, which is a great start for them if that happens. Oklahoma is 7, Oregon is 8, Ole Miss is 9, and A&M, Southern Cal is 10, and they really need to have a better year this year. A&M is 11, Bama is 12, Michigan's 13, BYU is 14. I won't go into all of them necessarily, but LSU is 17, Tennessee is 20, Florida State is 22, Clemson is 24. So, Shane, how does that grab you? Is that pretty logical, do you think, or is that just a typical poll?
I don't know whose poll this was, but
USA Today.
USA Today. I guess a couple of teams stand out to me here in their rankings. I think with the additions of what LSU has brought in from a talent standpoint and the coaching, they're better than 17 in America, in my opinion. I don't know how the Tennessee Vols are ranked 20.
Yeah, I understand.
But
and Florida State put Florida State at 22, raised some eyebrows too.
Oh, I didn't even hear you say that. Whoever did this has no clue. Florida State ain't gonna be a very good football team. I talked to some people that are close to that program, and they're very concerned about this year. But
Yeah, yeah.
Kirby Smart, he wants he talked about, I don't know what interview it was, but how the Big Ten is more dominant than the SEC right now.
Yeah, and you're hearing a lot of that, and obviously a lot of that comes from the Big Ten winning national championships as of late. Kirby was on one of the radio shows recently in the state of Alabama, and that's kind of what he talked about the Big Ten. Obviously, with Indiana, look, Indiana's going to be very good again this year. They pretty well kept that coaching staff intact. So Kirby was just giving some opinions on some different things, such as NIL, the state of the SEC, and things of that nature. So but when you're Kirby Smart, you do an interview right now, people are going to listen to it. So that's what happened.
And the Big Ten increased their revenue, obviously adding those West Coast teams. And it's just jotted in the notes here. Could Florida State be next on the agenda for the Big Ten?
Yeah. That's still, now look, just because expansion is dormant does not mean that it's dead, because that's not true. That's still going to happen. And I can tell you, at the end of this decade is when the new contracts are going to be coming in. And so we're going to see still some expansion that happens. Now, it's not going to be tremendous expansion, but I could easily see now a lot of the stories for the SEC, Shane, have talked about expansion for the SEC being North Carolina and maybe Virginia or some school like that. Mm-hmm. Now, some of the folks listening to us are going to be thinking, what in the world are you talking about? Well, the reality is North Carolina is a very attractive school for anybody, with the sports, with its location. And look, Virginia, or a school like Virginia would be too. They're not great in football. They're better in football, but they're certainly better in some of these other sports, and they bring in a tremendous amount of money. So that's why Shane and I have always said the mantra that expansion is not dead, it's just dormant, which means it's quiet for a while and then it revs up. So, and look, Florida State may not be playing great football right now, but Florida State is still attractive to a lot of conferences, particularly what they can do. So, Shane, there will be changes between now and the end of the decade. That's for sure.
Yeah, and I definitely agree. And it came straight out of Sankey's mouth at a banquet I was at, that if the SEC expands, it's going to be North Carolina, Virginia.
Yeah. Yes.
John's question for you on Facebook Live, brought to you by Mel Law. Brent, I want to ask you the same question that I heard Feinbaum and Jake Crane discussing yesterday. Who is the most overrated coach in college football?
Well, yeah, that made a lot of attention. The Alabama coach was mentioned, but the reality of it is, obviously, he came from Washington before he came to Alabama, and his record overall against top 25 teams is really pretty good, frankly. But it's the talking time of year, so you're going to get a lot of that that's going on too. So, but yeah, he was mentioned most of all, I think, of the other coaches out. But that's always a fun talking point this time of year too.
Gallo Car Wash is locally owned by UF alum and the only car wash that provides NIL opportunities to Gator athletes. Locations on Northwest 13th Street, Wilson Road, and coming soon to Jonesville and the city of Alachua. All right, Brent, let's go around the SEC. What's going on in Tuscaloosa?
A lot of excitement about E.J. Crowell, who's a running back that's come in. He's a heralded running back, and again, this is that time of year that we talk about and stuff like this. His teammate Ryan Williams. It's now Ryan Coleman Williams. He's changed his name to honor his family. But he's talking about a guy who's 5'11", 221. Crowell got hurt during spring. And I don't know if how badly he was hurt as much as it was, they didn't want to show him off very much. He did miss the spring with a leg injury. So there's certainly some excitement in Alabama. I mean, they made the playoffs, made the championship game in the SEC, didn't play well in either one, although they did beat Oklahoma in the playoffs. So they're like a lot of schools, there's a lot to prove, and Alabama has it too.
Yeah, the Mighty Gators been doing really well on the recruiting front. What can you tell us what's going on in Gainesville?
I tell you what, the thing, the one that I really like this coaching staff at Florida for a variety of reasons, and recruiting is one of those. They have 3 top 150 offensive line recruits. And look, the reality is when you hear John Summerall talk, one of the first things he talks about is redoing the line of scrimmage. And they have got at least 3 guys from the top 150 in the recruiting class. Eli Hutchinson is one of those guys, 6'5", 260, from Roanoke, Virginia. It'll take a while for him to get in shape and to be ready to play SEC football. But to me, Shane, that's what is sticking out is, I mean, when Summerall was interviewed, he's very honest. He lays it on the line. I think people have gotten a lot of respect for him, but the main thing is he's bringing in players. Now, they're not going to be great immediately, but I think they will be very good on down the line, and maybe better this year than we realize.
Yeah. Baron71 on YouTube brought to you by Quality Plumbing said, does Brent see Cal and Stanford rejoining the new Pac-12 in a few years, or do you see them remaining in the ACC?
Look, that's a great question. When they get, and that's well said, the new Pac-12 up and going, some of these schools from a pure economic viewpoint, when they look at their travel expenses and things like that, and that could be a reality. But the bottom line is going to be, which conference can I go to that's going to give me more money? And right now, I can understand it being the ACC. Look at that, and he brings up a really good point. Is Shane, nothing's permanent anymore, is it? If you leave one, could you go back to another one? Yeah, I think that's possible. Frankly, so that's something we'll watch. But there's still going to be a lot of movement in college football.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me. You know, it's all going to come down to the dollars, but the travel for those teams is ridiculous. And, you know, a lot of these non-revenue sports are being cut. I don't know if I don't know if we even mentioned it, but a couple of weeks ago, Arkansas, they cut men's and women's tennis. And I think you're going to start seeing that across the country, even at SEC schools. All right, the LSU Tigers, what can you tell us going on in Baton Rouge?
Well, as we mentioned a few minutes ago, there's a lot of talk about how good can LSU get and how quick can they get. Now, I think a lot of that's going to be determined by Sam Leavitt. You and I have discussed Sam Leavitt before, the Arizona State quarterback. Now, he'll be back. He had an injury, but they expect him to be back for fall practice. And Leavitt, when he's healthy, is one of the better quarterbacks around. I would agree with that. But again, LSU beat writers would tell you that even though LSU, because of Kiffin coming over, is going to be rated high, that they're probably a year, maybe even 2 away from really being where they need to be. Now Lane's a good coach. There's no question about that. And he can do a lot with what he's got. But the thing I'm hearing, Shane, from the beat writers for LSU is some of these expectations may need to be tempered a little bit until he gets his full squad in.
Text on the Titan Mar text line from Rick and Jupiter says, got to give Troutwine his props. In just the last 3 weeks, he's landed more top 100 offensive line commits than the Gators have landed in the last 14 recruiting cycles combined. Yeah, doing a heck of a job, no question about that.
Yes.
Brent, Ole Miss. I cannot wait for the Ole Miss LSU game. I need to look and see. I need to look and see who the Gators play that day.
Yeah.
Boy, that's going to be a heck of a game. What's going on in Oxford?
Well, obviously a lot of people keep in that they should talk about the quarterback coming back, but Keywan Lacey is coming back too, who's one of the better running backs, frankly, in the league. He injured his shoulder in the playoffs, and again, we got to remember they were if they had a little bit more time on the clock, they may have been playing for the whole thing themselves. So there's certainly a lot of excitement for Ole Miss and Pete Golden and what he's been able to do. So it's been a fascinating year for them. As we mentioned a few minutes ago, they are in the top 10. I believe they're number 9 in the USA Today poll. So, Shane, do you remember a time when there was this much excitement for Ole Miss football?
Oh gosh, I would say the last 5 or 6 years, it's been extremely exciting for the Ole Miss fans.
Yes.
Way more than when I was growing up.
Yeah.
They'd struggle winning 4 or 5 games, but yeah, good things are happening there, no question about it. Brent, give us some nuggets before we get you out of here.
Yeah, and some of the South Carolina fans, Chris Lowe had a write-up on them recently. Only 8 times have the Gamecocks won more than 8 games in an entire season. Joe Marston, who a lot of people forget, won 10 in '84, and Lou Holtz did very well there too. Obviously, Steve Spurrier did some really good things there too. But that's something to look at. Also, we mentioned Florida State a few times. I mean, they are expecting Florida State to be a bit better, hopefully. But again, there are a lot of people who have looked at this roster and they're not real excited about it. To be honest, Daniel Lyons is one of the guys on the defensive line who they like also. And again, we've talked a lot about the college football changing its format with the postseason. I will mention a basketball note real quick that there is maybe a vote coming pretty soon going through all the different committees on expanding the NCAA basketball tournament to 76 teams, and that appears to be going on too. So, Shane, it's a different day, isn't it, bud? The basketball tournament expanding, the college football playoffs expanding. What we think that's going on. So it's amazing to be a college sports fan right now, isn't it?
It is. It's crazy. The Gators play at Auburn that weekend. Thanks, 850 Gator.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. So I would expect the 3:30 game will be Ole Miss LSU.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So I'll have to be watching it in the press box. I don't know what time our game will be. Brent, good stuff as always, my friend. Appreciate your time, and we'll talk to you next week.
Always enjoy, bud. Have a great week.
You too. UF grad Michael Schneider, a real estate attorney, can help you save thousands of dollars in real estate commissions by helping you sell your home or land by owner without a broker. Michael Schneider, PLLC, serves the entire state of Florida. Contact Michael at maschneiderpllc.com. We're going to take a quick time out, come back. We'll be joined by JC. When JC takes over, you're watching and listening to PodUp with Matthews in the Morning from the International Diamond Center studios. We'll be right back.
Our premium sponsors are Atlantic Roofing, Campus USA Credit Union, International Diamond Center, J.F. Hayden's Craft Liqueurs, Los Landeros Tequila, Meldon Law, Titan MRI and Imaging, Castaway Sauce, UF Health Orthopedics, Michael Schneider PLLC, Florida Legends Gala and Experience, Money Metals, Sensei Asian Bistro. Our gridiron sponsors are Baker Sports, Florida Cracker Oyster, Gallo Car Wash, Miapa Latin Cafe, Peachland Dental, Quality Plumbing, Ruse Ogre State Farm, Silverback Concrete. Our premium sponsors are Atlantic Roofing, Campus USA Credit Union, International Diamond Center, J.F. Hayden's Craft Liqueurs, Los Landeros Tequila, Meldon Law, Titan MRI and Imaging, Castaway Sauce, UF Health Orthopedics, Michael Schneider PLLC, Florida Legends Gala and Experience, Money Metals, Sensei Asian Bistro. Our gridiron sponsors are Baker Sports, Florida Cracker Oyster, Gallo Car Wash, Miapa Latin Cafe, Peachland Dental, Quality Plumbing, Rue's Ogre State Farm, Silverback Concrete, 84 Lumber, Big Mills Cheesesteaks, Celebrate Primary Care, Gator Bait Media, Florida Cracker Kitchen, Gator Dominoes, Ironwood Golf Course, McDonald's of Gainesville, Tropical Smoothie Cafe, UF Bookstores, International Gold and Diamond, Advocare, and MGA Wealth. Watch and listen to us live on Facebook or YouTube. Listen to podcasts wherever, on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you listen to your favorite podcast. Remember to like, follow, and subscribe so you don't miss an episode. And to advertise, be sure to call my man Freddie at 352-284-3733.
Recent price spikes in groceries, healthcare, gasoline, steel, and lumber tell the story of inflation. As the reality of all this inflation sinks in, investors will be acting quickly to diversify and protect themselves, their families, and their assets. Low transaction costs are one reason Investopedia calls Money Metals the best dealer in America. Don't waste any more time. Start protecting your savings today with physical precious metals at moneymetals.com/go.
To the Swamp and the Gators, with the best beverage served at Spurrier's Gridiron Grill. 100% agave, Los Landeros Tequila, aged in bourbon barrels for a smoother taste.
I think you mean Head Beer Coach 1966 lager, a crisp, light, bodied lager for easy drinking.
Nope. Los Landeros Tequila, smooth enough to drink neat and bold enough to elevate a cocktail.
1966 lager, enjoyed on game days in the fall or whenever you need a winning cold brew. Hi there, this is Coach Steve Spurrier, and I want to let you know that by popular demand, Spurrier's Gridiron Grill's delicious brunch is now served in a premium buffet. You have spoken, we have listened, and we're now serving Gainesville's only elevated buffet, complete with an omelet station, ginger sage chicken sausage, shredded short rib, plus you can enjoy bottomless mimosas and Bloody Marys. So join us every Saturday and Sunday from 11 to 3 for the best brunch in town.
By now, you heard about the Florida Legends Experience and Gala, featuring Gator Heisman greats Tim Tebow, Danny Warfel, and Steve Spurrier, all in one place at Spurrier's Gridiron Grill. Imagine catching a pass or taking a handoff from a Heisman winner, all while supporting Isaiah 117 to help provide safe, loving homes for children in need. Then enjoy an unforgettable evening at the Gala, filled with great food and lasting memories. Don't miss this historic event. Find out how you and your business can get involved at fllegends.com. That's fllegends.com.
You've got Win with JC. Let's try to get some money going, flowing, and let's try to win as we get ready for another big weekend of playoff action in both the NHL, the NBA. We've got baseball galore. We've got college baseball. We've got some futures bets to go through. And I want to also just mention before we get started that Shane and Brent talking football. So I heard a lot of that. I just want you to know, folks, the in-pocket bets for the upcoming football season on regular season wins. I got to keep repeating this because I love this a lot. Florida over 7.5 wins plus 125 is what I've got. It's now at plus 115. Money's coming in on the Gators to go over 7.5 wins. The schedule is the biggest reason for that, in my opinion. Plus, you got to be better than what we've seen in the last 5 years. Florida State under 6.5 wins. That has been juiced up to minus 145. Everybody believes the Noles suck. Look at their schedule. They'll be hard-pressed to get 6.5 wins, and you might even want to just go ahead and alt that down if they give it to you on any of the options you have in America. Of course, we have the Hard Rock sports betting app here in the free state of Florida. So I'm looking at hockey last night. We're going to start with that. We'll get into the NBA, and then if we have some time, we'll go to Major League Baseball, but we're also going to hit the Truist signature event in Quail Hollow, Charlotte, North Carolina. That's where your PGA Tour stop is this week. So back-to-back signature events, which basically means really strong fields, the golfers that you follow. And then, of course, we go to the PGA Championship next week. Scotty Scheffler will be in that. He is not at the Truist in Charlotte, but Rory McIlroy, for obvious reasons, and I'll explain what that means, is back in action after a 3-week hiatus after winning his second Masters. So I got a lot of text messages prior to today's segment. Jack from Honolulu breaks open the Sabres and Ducks parlay from last night. How about the Buffalo Sabres? Who was talking about the Buffalo Sabres yesterday against Montreal? Canadians can't score. The Canadians got lucky to beat Tampa Bay. They will lose this series in 5 games. It could go 6, but I'm thinking it's 5. Buffalo with a 4-2 win. Jack from Honolulu has the Sabres laying a goal and a half last night, along with these Anaheim Ducks laying a goal and a half. Both teams won by 2. He hits that 9-1 parlay for $10 to clear $93. He then also has the game straight up, parlays that at 3-1. That's the way you want to start your day. You know, you come in here and you win a couple of hockey parlays or NBA parlays or whatever you can do to kind of motivate your bank account a little bit, or your Hard Rock account. I mean, I don't want you to throw your bank account in the Hard Rock, but I guess that's where you will fund it. But let's hear it for him. Jack from Honolulu, 3-1 odds on the Sabres and the Ducks, and then also took them on the puck line, -1.5 at 9-1. Why did Buffalo win last night? And by the way, speaking of my picks for the Stanley Cup, I have 3 teams in pocket to win it all. I have 2 of these 3 teams to win the conference. These teams right here, these 3, your Sabres, your Ducks, and these monsters in Denver, these are the 3 I've got to win the Cup. This team to win the West, this team to beat Carolina and win the East. The youth of these 2 teams here, this one, and the talent of this one, I think give me a lot of confidence. I can't see the Flyers doing it. I can't see the Canadians doing it. I don't think the Golden Knights have the firepower to do it. And that's where I think you can really find some good odds currently, but they're going shorter on these teams as they win and progress through the playoffs. Tonight, we have one game in the NHL, Carolina and Philadelphia. Carolina has not lost in the playoffs. They swept in their first round. They are up 2-0, winning in overtime against a very feisty Philadelphia team. Flyers are catching 135 on the money line at home in Game 3. Tonight, the Carolina Hurricanes lose a game. They're not going to run the table. They're not the 1998 New York Yankees who won everything during the season and won every single postseason game. Greatest baseball team of all time, the 1998 New York Yankees. Carolina is not going through the postseason undefeated. Tonight, my dog is Philadelphia, plus the 135. The over-under is 5.5. All of these games with Carolina go under because they simply lock you up in the neutral zone. It's hard to score on them, but they're going to slip up tonight. And I see the Flyers. I like the under, winning this game 3-2, 2-1, 3-1, something in that neighborhood. Buffalo tomorrow night and Anaheim tomorrow night. Love them both on home ice. There was a duck. They have a duck at the Honda Center in Anaheim that is 20 feet long, 25 feet long, that literally flies through the stadium like this before the game, blowing all kinds of smoke out of his beak. Ducks can swim, ducks can walk, ducks can freaking fly. I almost got on a plane to get to Game 3 in Anaheim yesterday, fly right into Orange County. Just came that close to doing it. I'm so excited about the Ducks. But I'm also excited about the freaking Buffalo Sabres, the losingest organization in modern history. Right now, 3 games away for playing for the Eastern Conference. So Anaheim and Buffalo tomorrow night. Go ahead and ride them. Philadelphia tonight. Zach Rothrock is with me. Let's bring up some NBA basketball.
Here we go.
are limited, so let's talk about the NBA. Now, I tell you, as far as entertainment value, there are so many blowouts in the NBA that I'm just kind of turning those games off. Like last night's Minnesota-San Antonio game.
Oh, God.
It was 59-35 at halftime. Minnesota basically pulled their guys. They said, we don't need to keep playing this. We got our one game in San Antonio. But the Spurs the odds are starting to really get shorter on the Spurs to win this series. I've got Minnesota plus 2.5 games in pocket at plus odds, plus 190. I'm very happy with that. I think the Wolves will win at least one more game in this series. It goes 6. The Spurs probably win it, but that's a winner for me at the plus 2.5. What do you see in game 3? That San Antonio spread is now minus 3.5. The game will be in Minneapolis. We'll get to the other games momentarily. But what are you looking at on the NBA board right now, Zach? It brings out some value. The Knicks get the short win, 6-point win last night, but OG Anunoby is now out for the next 2 games. And you look at the Sixers, the 76ers are now a favorite. Down 2-0 in the series without Joel Embiid. No big surprise there. The guy is basically a 50-50 guy.
Yeah.
Meaning he's in 50% of the time, he's out 50% of the time. But the Sixers are favored in game 3. You see anything you like in the NBA? Tonight's game of the Lakers and the Thunder, I have no interest in that. So what do you see?
Well, actually, I wanted to go ahead and just start with that one, the Lakers and the Thunder. So in the first game, the Lakers got blown out. I believe they lost by like 35 points. They lost by a lot, or 18 actually. Sorry, that was the Spurs one by 35. But either way, Austin Reeves was 3 for 16 from the field, including 0 for 5 from the 3 points. I definitely don't anticipate the Lakers to win this game, but a 15.5-point spread for a team that has LeBron James on the floor, you really just need Austin Reeves to hit a few more shots, and they should be able to cover that. Now, I do like your call of the Minnesota Timberwolves plus 2.5. I like the Spurs to win the whole championship. I put down money on them back when they were at plus $1,500. They're now around plus 400.
You got them getting through. You got them getting through OKC in the West.
Well, that is the. I know it's not really the final boss, but to me that is like the big. That's the big hump they got to get over, because OKC, to me, they're the most complete basketball team in the NBA. They got depth, they got stars, they got guards, they got bigs, they got pretty much everything you need. Whereas the Spurs really just have this freak of nature unicorn playing defense that can cover the whole floor, and then they have a few guards that can score.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's a short number, 3.5. I think Minnesota, though, is up for the challenge. Something tells me that Edwards at home will light them up in one of these next 2 games. Remember, I've got the plus 2.5. You could probably still go on there and look at some spreads for the series. The odds are going to be different now that Minnesota's won a game. But I just need one more win. I don't see them winning the series, however. So San Antonio, moving on to OKC. The Lakers they're not there without Luka Doncic.
No, even with
Austin,
him. But yeah,
Austin Reeves and LeBron are great. I think JJ Redick did a great job in that Houston series. Remember, the Lakers were a 5-1 dog, and at one point, you could have almost gotten 6-1 not to beat the Rockets, and they did it in 6 games, winning a lot of those games in Houston. But Houston's not OKC. This Oklahoma City Thunder team, I tell you, I wouldn't mind just going ahead, taking the first half minus 9.5, taking the game minus 15.5, and just relax. The Lakers cannot keep up with Oklahoma City. Oklahoma City wants to be done with this series and not let it drag. I think Oklahoma City is an easy play at 15.5. I think that's crazy to think that. That just shows me how ridiculous this series is. Because of the injury situation the Lakers are going through. It sucks.
Yeah, it's hard for them to score, and it's hard in the NBA to win if you can't score. Now, it'll be a couple of days away. I believe it'll probably be Sunday based on the pacing, but I will kind of, honestly, for no data, analytical rhyme or reason, but just because it's just the way these things seem to play out, I do see the Lakers having a really good game 3 when they go back to LA, potentially stealing one if they're going to win one. If not, they probably do wind up getting swept.
You can bet this series to go 4-0, and you're laying you're laying juice. That's how
right. Yeah, that's how much better OKC is.
So
right?
another series that will be a little bit more competitive, I think quite a bit more, will be tonight's game 2 starting at 7:00. Cleveland and Detroit. The Pistons minus 155, minus 3.5 The Pistons are 48-42 against the spread. Cleveland is only 36-54 against the spread. The over-under is 215.5. I hit the total in game one at 212.5 under, and the game ended at 211. I mean, that's just how tight these over-unders are, and unders are impossible. God, yeah. It's hard to bet those. I still think it goes under 215.5 tonight, and I think Cleveland getting the 3.5. If Donovan Mitchell will just get off his ass and give us something for more than just one night, Cleveland's going to win one of these games against Detroit here the next two nights they play. I think it could happen tonight, plus the 3.5. It's hard to bet against the Pistons at home, but there's a reason that number's not 6.5 or 7.5. It's 3.5. I think the market believes the Cavaliers can wake up. And the money line, plus 135. You're getting 35 cents. I think Cleveland will keep this series. It'll go 6 or 7. That means they have to win once in Detroit if they're going to win it. I think game 2, they will play better. I think they keep this game close, and I think the 3.5 is what you're going to want by the time it gets close to the end. I'm taking Cleveland.
It seems like it's a pretty safe bet that most of these series are usually going to go more than 5 games. With Detroit and Cleveland, I liked Cleveland before the series started. I still like them now. Definitely so the under. I think there is some validity to taking the under in their matchup because on the Detroit side, they go through long stretches where they cannot score. So they struggle on half-court offense, where Detroit gets the majority of their points is on turnovers and fast breaks. So as long as Cleveland is not turning the ball over and not making mistakes on the offensive end of the floor, it's hard for Detroit to score, especially if Cade Cunningham goes to a cold spell. So, yeah, I definitely like the under in that game.
I like the under, and again, they have to have more than just Cade Cunningham in this series, I think. It's a lot more. It's going to be a lot more difficult than the Orlando series, even though that was extremely difficult for Detroit. I blame Orlando for losing. And listen, Franz Wagner not playing, I think, was the reason why. But to choke away games, away Game 6 the way they did that, the Knickerbockers, I'm in pocket for them to win the Eastern Conference at plus 120. I'm in pocket for them to win the NBA at plus 800. Now I find out that OG Anunoby is out. I don't like that. I think Josh Hart's great. I think Brunson is great. I think Towns is great. OG being out these next 2 games or more, maybe he could be out the whole series. So I'm kind of pissed off and sweating these futures on the Knicks a little bit, even though they're up 2-0. I think they get by the 76ers, but I think it's going to be a tall order if OG's not back by the time Detroit and Cleveland roll around in the Eastern Conference Finals. I've got the Colorado Avalanche in pocket for hockey at minus 130 to win the West. I'd love to see the Ducks beat them, but Colorado's just too damn good. They are so good. So those are my in-pocket plays, and then the Ducks plus 1.5 games at plus 135 in this series with Vegas. I think they're going to win the series outright. The Ducks plus 260 just to win the series. Got these before game 1 rather, and before game 2, and now it's a 1-1 series going back to Anaheim. So those are some in-pocket plays. Do you have anything in-pocket for the series in the NBA, or are you just looking at them game by game?
Yeah, honestly, I was looking at potentially taking Tyrese Maxey overs because of the OG Anunoby injury, but I mean, Tyrese Maxey's also dealing with a jam finger on his own, so that almost kind of seems like
these guys
push as far as getting an advantage there. I did want to ask, let's see, we had a viewer question from Mike. He wanted to know, JC, your thoughts on Michigan State. This is Michigan State football win total at 3.5 with their new coach, Pat Fitzgerald.
Mike, here's what I will do for you, Mike. If you keep watching, I have to look that up. I'd have to look at what Michigan State's schedule looks like, who's coming back. But I will say this. Pat Fitzgerald is a winner, proven winner on the field as a head coach. He has been absolved of all the BS that Northwestern fired him over. None of that apparently happened. Michigan State, had to show cause why to hire him. So they have everything cleared. I'm pretty sure that's happened. Now that Michigan State is his new employer, knowing what happened with Mel Tucker at Michigan State, he's going to mind his piece. He's going to win football games at Michigan State. So 3.5 seems low. That conference is the best conference in football. I'm sorry, SEC folks. The Big Ten is the best conference in football right now, this moment. That could change very easily.
You have to say that.
But you can't win the national title 3 or 4 years in a row, whatever it's been now, with 3 different teams and not be the best conference. They are the best conference, the Big Ten, right now. Michigan State. Go ahead, Zach.
Oh, yeah. No, I agree with what you're saying, and you are on a roll, and I'm sorry to interrupt, but I did take a quick look at their schedule. Yeah. So their first 2 games are Toledo and Eastern Michigan. Fairly confident they can pocket 2 wins there. They close the season. Yeah, they close the season with Rutgers. Fairly confident they get a win there. So they basically just got to win one more game in the middle of the season. I mean, they get to host Illinois. It honestly is pretty tough. I mean, they go at Notre Dame. I don't see Ohio State on the schedule. They host Oregon. I would have to say over. I'd be optimistic and go with the over on that total.
Now, Greg's pissed at me for talking about the Big Ten boasting. I'm not trying to boast. I'm just reciting the historical fact here in recent history that today that is the I think most people will agree. I don't care about people with bias. I'm just saying people who look at it objectively will say that Big Ten runs football right now.
And we're all SEC
that's the truth.
People.
And then, of course, the Big Ten won in basketball this year. Yeah, the Gators won it last year. That was good. And the SEC is right there. But in terms of football, if you're trying to tell me right now that the brand at the SEC is great, it is. But they are the Big Ten is the better conference. Simple.
Yeah, I mean, the SEC, I would say, is still a close second. But, I mean, you got to give credit where credit is due and tip your cap to them. They are running things in college sports as of right now.
I mean,
that's subject to change.
Yeah. Greg is one of our best viewers and listeners. He was with us when we were on 105 The Game, Shane and I on the radio. He always called in. I love the SEC love. I'm just telling you, man, the 3 different teams have won natties here in the last 3 years. Screw it. I mean, that's all you got to say. I mean, Georgia, Alabama, who else in the SEC? Who? What? LSU? No. Tennessee? No. Florida? No.
Not lately.
Mississippi schools? No. Missouri? No. South Carolina? Hell no. Kentucky, Vanderbilt, blah, blah, blah. Auburn? Good God, what a dumpster fire. Guys got to, I mean, the SEC's got to button up. All right, we got to get to golf. I have to get to golf before we, my God, the time. Before we go, in pocket on the Peachland Dental Picks contest, I had Adam Scott, Matt Fitzpatrick, Kurt Kitayama, Seth Straka, and the X-Man. This tournament is in Charlotte. It is a signature event. It is the Truist Open at Quail Hollow. They played the PGA at Quail Hollow last year, so we didn't have the Truist. So the QB, Shane Matthews, Hall of Famer, my friend, Cam Young, plus 800. Great pick there. I mean, Cam Young could win everything. This course is going to play long at 7,500 yards. They have some weather issues. The tee times have been backed up today. They're going to hope to get the first round in, but I think they're going off at 11, so you can still have time to get some plays in. Cam Young, 8-1. You got to love the way he drives the ball. My God, does he shorten down courses? What he did at Doral is ridiculous, especially a long playing course that was wet. Same conditions here potentially in Charlotte. He's got Fleetwood at 25-1, Body at 6-1, Siwoo Kim at 25-1, and Rory McIlroy, who has won on this course 4 times. He is at 5-1. Rory McIlroy's 30% of his career wins, 30%, 1/3 of all of his wins have come at Quail Hollow. I think that's an accurate statement. I don't think that's, 30% of his career wins at Quail Hollow. This is going to play to the long hitters. He is certainly amongst those. Xander Schauffele at 9-1, one of my picks, is a 2-time runner-up. He's had 4 top 10s in his last 6 starts. He's rested. I think he's healthy. I think Xander Schauffele is definitely a top 5, top 10 type play. I will bet on those during the weekend. I think that's when you get your best value. You take guys who are slightly outside of that threshold, top 10, top 20, you'll get longer odds there. Then they'll play their way in if you like the way you're doing. But you got to watch this stuff. You got to watch it. Or you can just bet it and hope and not watch it. Ricky Fowler, top 10 last week. He needs to be in the top 60. He's played well here at Quail Hollow. He's 37-1. He's 50-1 in this tournament to win it. He's plus 600 for top 5, plus 300 for top 10. I got Ricky Fowler. Oberg doesn't know how to win yet, but he's got 4 top 5s in his last 5 starts. 4 top 5s in his last 5 starts. The guy hits the ball a mile. First 3 rounds are great. It's just that last round. Top 10 in driving distance. He's top 10 off the tee. Oberg, plus 1,400. I think that's a play you could go with. And Kurt Kitayama, number 4 in ball striking, number 9 in driving. He's 50 to 1. 50 to 1 and plus 800 top 5. Kurt Kitayama is a good play there. And I think Chris Goddard up at plus 4,000. That's 40 to 1. 3 wins in the last 18 events. Distance matters in this tournament. He can hit it a mile. I think those are some solid plays for you going into the Truist. And again, you want to look at those top 10, top 5 markets, top 20 markets. I think on the weekend, that's the best way to play it. Let's go to some futures for College World Series. Believe it or not, the Mississippi State Bulldogs are the shortest number at plus 850, followed by Texas at plus 900, A&M at 12 to 1, Georgia 13 to 1, Auburn. I love Auburn. In a postseason scenario, I think their pitching is outstanding. They play defense. They're 13 to 1. Auburn and the Fighting Gators, 40 to 1. There's some value right there. I'm sorry, you get Aiden King going. They're going to probably host a regional, according to Baseball America. If you saw that yesterday, I mentioned that Baseball America has Florida hosting a regional with Nebraska and NC State and that UNF team they just got done beating. They would be a 1 seed and play UNF in the first game if that prediction holds true. Baseball America is usually pretty accurate on these baseball predictions for the postseason. And again, my football total 7.5 for Florida over Florida State under 6.5. And I will get for Mike that's Michigan State future. I'll try to get that tomorrow for you. If not, we'll have it next week on Win with JC. And Michigan State, you're right, Michael. They do play Northwestern. That'll be it's kind of like that LSU Ole Miss game that we're going to watch this year when Lane returns to Oxford. He's going to have a lot of security there. Baseball picks real quick. Just going to run through a couple before we sign off. Tonight, this is what I like. I like Colorado plus 130 against the Mets in freezing Denver, Colorado. Plus 130, Mets suck, Colorado sucks. But I think the Rockies are the live play here. Yankees with Paul Blackburn tonight going. I think Texas gets them. Plus 125. I like the over, though, 8.5 in that game. Twins, Nats, bad bullpens, bad pitching. ERAs high, walks high, lots of walks between these guys, these staffs. Twins and Nats over 8.5 in Washington. That's this afternoon. I like the Pirates with Mitch Keller on the road at Arizona. Had a great effort from Paul Skeens last night. Pittsburgh gets the win there. I think they can beat Arizona with Mitch Keller. We'll see. A's, Phillies. Phillies has woken up 8-2 their last 10. They've won 4 in a row. Don Mattingly, one of the great New York Yankees, one of the greatest of all time, is now managing the Phillies. And look, they're winning 8-2 in their last 10. Andrew Painter against JT Ginn. I think Andrew Painter, the Phillies get it done against the A's. And I like the Miami Marlins with Max Meyer. He strikes out everybody. He's got a 2.68 ERA. Marlins trying to avoid a sweep to Baltimore. They are only 3-7 in their last 10. They've lost 4 in a row. I think they salvaged this last game against the Orioles. Take the Marlins laying 118. And hopefully you guys will have a fatter bank account or a fatter Hard Rock account, FanDuel or DraftKings account after all of this wonderful information. Rewind it and go back if you want. I think we've got some solid plays in golf. There were Truist this weekend. I love our picks on the Peachland Dental Picks contest from yesterday with Shane and I. I like the Sabres. I like the Ducks. And I like the Avs to win the Stanley Cup. Pick one of those 3. These guys are the short shot. These guys are the long shot. And this is my Eastern Conference winner. These Buffalo Sabres are fast as hell. Anaheim Ducks can skate faster than anybody. They are live to win the West. But I think it's Colorado. We'll have more tomorrow. I'm going back with Shane at 8 o'clock on Matthews in the Morning. Look forward to seeing you then. And for now, that's going to do it for Win with JC. We'll be back next Thursday at 8:30. Thanks for watching, everybody. Good luck with your bets.